This is my personal journey of cataract surgery, complications, and subsequent vitrectomy. I am not a medical professional. Always seek medical advice for any eye problems. Hi, Shroomers. Sorry this is so dark. I'm just back from my vitrectomy. And my reward? Steak and egg bagel, no cheese. That'll make a girl feel good. Just a quick little update, everybody. It's dark in here. A couple hours ago, I had a pars plana vitrectomy, removing everything from the inside of my eye, replacing it with saline and a gas bubble, hopefully to get rid of my floaters, and some lens material that was dropped down in there after my cataract surgery, which caused heinous pain and inflammation. Surprise! That happened last week. And to add insult to injury, today the paperwork came while I was waiting for surgery, and it was all for the wrong eyeball. Yeah, it was. Got that fixed right away. Got the excellent anesthesiologist give me fentanyl. Booyah. And my surgery went well. Supposedly without a hitch. We'll see soon. Hey, Shroomer spore walkers and mushroom-loving folk. This is Tattooed Granny, live from my yard, one day post-op vitrectomy. Join me today. This is a post-surgery and eye problem update. So if you are looking for mushroom videos, this is not it. Okay, let's back up. Starting in July, this eye had 20/19 vision. It's my dominant eye, my right eye, used for photography and mushroom hunting. For some reason, I got a little black floater in the middle of this eye. Yeah, got a little laser treatment to get rid of the floater, but unfortunately that laser aggravated my cataract. It didn't bother me and made it cover my whole eye, and I was blinded. So I needed cataract surgery. Okay, let's move forward. So I had cataract surgery August 22nd, 2023. It had complications. It did not go as planned. Apparently, the lens of your eye, the cloudy cataract lens, sits in something called a capsular bag. And while the doc was taking the lens chunks out, grinding them up or whatever they do, that bag was weak, shallow, and it tore. And so he had to put in a different lens and the whole thing, but I was fine. Well, 2 weeks later, when I stopped finally taking the anti-inflammatory meds for the cataract surgery, my eye blew up. I mean, it was hurting. I had nerve pain here. My vision went completely blurry again. Heinous, right? Go back to the doc. Guess what he found? So, apparently, when my old cataract lens was being ground up and sucked out, pieces fell back into my vitreous. Your eyeball looks round because it's filled with juice. That's the vitreous. It's behind the lens and all that kind of stuff. Well, when those lens pieces fell back there, my body saw that as a foreign body. And that's what it normally does, and created inflammation. Off I went to the doctor. Your eye pressure is supposed to be under 20, ideally in the teens. Mine was 45. Oh no. Doc says, let's put some drops in, see if the pressure comes down. I wait around in the office 20 minutes, comes back 35. Not good enough. We're gonna have to reduce your eye pressure right now. I'm like, oh, more drops? He said, sure, here's some numbing drops. I'm like, what? Numbing? What's gonna happen? He said, how are you gonna do this? And he said, we're just gonna put a little blunt tipped cannula in your eyeball and let some juice pop out. What, you mean a needle? And before I get up out of the chair, he's coming at me with his hand behind his back, you know, big old needle with an open-ended cup. So when he jabbed it in my eyes, juice squirted out and ran down my face. I did feel instantly better, I will say that. He checked my pressure, 12. Good to go. But I needed more surgery. Tired of me talking about my eye yet? Yeah, well, I'm tired of having my eye. So we had to schedule a 23 gauge pars plana vitrectomy. What's that, you ask? That's when they jab your eye with 3 big trocar needles in order to insert 3 instruments inside, deep inside your eye. The vitrector, the vacuum, the thing that scrapes more gunk out, and a light so the doctor can see what he's doing. So they're going to clean out all the vitreous, replace it with air, and if there's any issues with the retina tearing from all that stuff, they can treat it right then and there with a laser. So I am 1 day post-op that procedure, and about to go to the doctor to take this off and see what's going on. Let's talk about the surgery, shall we? So my regular doc sends me to a specialist, a retinal specialist. Apparently you need that for this kind of surgery. Already I'm anxious. Doctor's great. Great training from the most prestigious eye institute in the whole United States, the #1. So he's good. I'm comfortable. We see him Monday, and guess what? Yesterday, Wednesday, 2 days later, I'm in for emergency vitrectomy. Guess he doesn't want things to get aggravated and permanently damage my vision or whatnot. So doctor was great, surgery, you know, went fine. However, the hospital made a tiny little mistake. I'm laying there, I'm in a gown. They come in and they say, "We're doing your left eye vitrectomy today, right?" I'm like, "No, it's the right eye." Oh my gosh. So they had to redo all the paperwork. I had to sign the consent forms again to make sure they did the eye that actually had the problem. Whew, close call. So for those curious, eye surgery is awake surgery. That means you can have a little sedation and you're numbed and whatnot, but you're wide awake so that you don't move your head during surgery. I'm like, well, they didn't sedate me very much for the cataract surgery. They better come heavy for this one. So I talked to anesthesia and I'll let him know. Well, he was awesome. I'm laying in a slab and they stick this blunt-tipped cannula right up in my eye. It snakes down behind your eye. You can actually feel that. And they start putting the numbing juice back there where your eyeball attaches to all the nerves, and it burns like a MF. I start saying, "Ow," and all of a sudden I start feeling happy. Anesthesia gave me not only Valium, but I got the fentanyl. So anesthesia came in heavy, made me happy. Here is what I had for anesthesia. It worked amazing for me. No pain. I didn't feel the other 2 shots in my eye, nor did I feel any of the instruments going in, but I could see them. That's right, the vitrector came like this and is sucking junk up. What? It is a crazy experience, and I can remember all this stuff. So yeah, that's 45 minutes in the OR. Lots of sucky, scrapey. It's a light show. Oh yeah, they bound me up like a mummy in a sheet so I didn't move. I'm like, okay, I mean, I'm awake. I'm not gonna move, trust me. More later. So without seeing my doc for follow-up surgery, 1 day post-op, I have heard it takes several weeks to get your vision back. I can see the gas bubble moving in my eye and everything else is blurry, but I mean, I have a dark patch on. These holes are just for air. You can't see. There's like gauze over my eye. So we'll see what doc says about the surgery. When he came out, he said he got all the lens fragments, and with it the floaters that always bothered me. And the vitreous was already pulled away from the retina, which is why I had a big blobby jellyfish that was over my eye that moved around. It made everything hazy, plus all the little black floaters and clear floaters and wormy floaters, and oh my gosh. So hopefully that's all gone. He said he got it all. And hopefully I'll be able to get back to my mushroom hunting soon as I can drive, because we've had rain. Of course, rain when this is going on. I know hen of the woods are up. I love my mushroom hunting. So, okay guys, who's ever watching this, thanks. I want you to know I had no post-operative pain. To be proactive, I took a couple ibuprofen right when I got home from surgery. 2 hours later, Tylenol, and then 1 ibuprofen before bed. Really nothing, so I'm not on anything today. When this eye moves, this eye tries to follow it because your eyes track. That's when it's sore. So we'll see what doc says about all this. Quite the adventure. One last thing, I'm a marked woman. They put this green bracelet on me after surgery. It means I have an air bubble in my eye. I cannot have nitrous oxide. I cannot travel to altitude. All that could result in blindness. We don't want that. Doc says my eye looks great. It's obviously swollen and red and sore, but the surgery was successful. Yay! Hi all, this is Tattooed Granny, day 2 post-op. Went to visit the doc yesterday. He said all was healing nicely. It looks bad, but the patch is off and I'm tired but feeling good. I'm going to give you some tips in the next segment. Okay, the tips you're about to hear. First of all, disclaimer, I am not a doctor. I am not a medical professional. Tips are my opinion based on my personal experience. You need to check with your doctor and your medical care team before you do any of my tips, okay? And do what's best for you. Definitely check with a professional first. Okay, vitrectomy tips. Number one thing is, before your surgery, find out when you can have fluids last and food, and feed up before then. I like bone broth because it has a lot of collagen and protein for healing. I like juices with vitamin C and A and E. I like flaxseed oil and olive oil and fish, like sardines, things like that, before surgery to help with the healing of the eye. That's one tip. Second tip is they're going to give you a clear plastic shield or metal shield for your eye that you must wear at night for the first 7 days and the first day after surgery. And you only need, they'll give you tape, only need a small amount of tape on either of the long ends to secure that. You kind of put that across your eye. To get the glue marks off your face, I used fingernail polish remover on a clean cotton eye circle and tried to get it off. Some of it's still on there and it collects dirt and it's heinous. So you can use that to clean it, or rubbing alcohol. Don't let any juice drip in your eye though. For showering, I will hold like a washcloth over my eye or keep it tightly closed. Keep the water low, or tip my head back to wash my hair and dab, dab, dab so the water does not get in my eye, and I keep that eye closed. That's to prevent infection for the first couple weeks. You want to do that. Another tip, this might sound crazy, make sure they mark the correct eye. Look what almost happened to me. They had the wrong eye listed. They had to redo the paperwork, had to re-sign the consent forms because they thought it was the left eye and it was my right eye. Ugh. Double check, triple check. Talk to your anesthesiologist. Tell him your fears, your concerns, and your anxiety about having surprise pain or pain so that he is ready to treat it. I was paranoid about feeling the needle, and when it started to burn and I spoke up, instantly I felt better because he put the fentanyl in addition to the Valium into my IV. I had a pain-free procedure because I spoke up during surgery. Speak up, speak up. So after surgery, you're probably going to get some drops for your eyes. You don't start them, at least I didn't start them on the day of surgery. You keep that patch on for 24 hours and see your surgeon the next day, and then you will begin your drops. My surgeon was wicked cool. He opened 2 very expensive eye drop bottles in surgery and started me, and then sent them to the pharmacy at the hospital I was at, where I picked them up for free as part of my surgical procedure. One of the bottles was $200. One was $60. Free. So if you have an awesome surgeon like I did, maybe he can do that for you as well. I have a steroid drop 4 times a day for the first week, then 3 times a day for the second week, then 2 times. Third week, 1 time last week. Then for 1 week, 4 times a day, I've got an antibiotic. That was the expensive one, I believe. The steroid you have to shake up. The antibiotic I didn't have to. Depends what kind you get. Check the instructions on yours. Yada, yada, yada. All doctors are different what they like. So make sure you stick to that schedule. It's really important for the healing of your eye, to prevent increased eye pressure, to prevent infection, to prevent irritation, and to prevent inflammation. Do not miss your eye drops. That's your eye. You want to be able to see well. You want it to heal properly. I went grocery shopping before my surgery. I prepped taco meat. I prepped different meals. I bought a cooked chicken so that it can be an easy recovery for you. You want to lay around on your butt for several days, probably a week. Ask your doctor what he thinks. You'll get tired a lot sooner. Here's a tip for when you apply your eye drops. You grab your lower cheek and pull out the lower lid a little and tip your head back, and then with the other hand, free hand, squeeze one drop in. Then apply just light pressure to the tear duct, just light pressure in the corner of your eye by your nose. This will prevent like the steroids from getting into your body systemically and causing symptoms, and it'll keep it in your eye good. Same with the antibiotic. I was having trouble with red facial flushes after the steroid drops until I started doing this. You can find out about it online. Check, of course, with your doctor that he thinks it's okay. It really worked, so I'm happy about that. Next tip, follow your doctor's advice about physical exertion. No lifting, no heavy exercising, stairs, running, hiking, things like that. Take it easy. Anything like that can increase the pressure in your eye, and sweating and stuff like that can get in your eye, and that's bacteria in your eye. Relax, chill at home. This is the time for you to heal. After a vitrectomy, you may have various things put in your eye to hold the retina in place. You know, they're going to use a vitrector to suck the vitreous out of your eye, and that pulls on the retina a little bit. And so they may put an air bubble, a gas bubble, or a silicone oil bubble in your eye. And each one lasts a different amount of time. I got an air bubble. It lasts about a week. Gas bubbles, 2 weeks. The oil, weeks. And you have to have that removed. And you might have to lay a certain position and things like that. I didn't have to do that. No position required. Some people have to lay face down and stuff like that. Each vitrectomy is different based on what's the condition of the eye. But so I have a gas bubble, I have an air bubble in my eye, and it gives me a horizontal line right here, real blurry down below, and kind of blurry and with streaks of light, pillars of light above. And each day it's supposed to get less and less and less. And Doc said, that is my guide to when I can drive, when that bubble is gone. That is my guide when I can take a walk on nice flat ground, not really exercise, but just get some fresh air and stuff like that. So listen to your doctor about that. What kind of bubble do you have? Do you have a bubble? What are your restrictions? I have this green wristband that I showed you earlier, so I can't fly, I can't climb into altitude in the mountains, and I can't get nitrous oxide at the dentist, all because that will cause a problem for this gas bubble and could lead to blindness. So make sure you know about that. My doctor told me, yes, I could have natural tears that are preservative free if my eye is dry. I can use those. So I bought some. I haven't needed to use them. In fact, my eye has been more weepy than anything, probably because of the drops, and maybe the wounds are leaking, who knows. You know, you do get those 3 big wounds in your eye for what they call the trocars, so they can stick the instruments in. And yeah, I saw them and I was awake. I think I mentioned that earlier. The memory isn't bad. I was so happy on drugs that it was sort of like watching a Netflix TV show, like it was happening to somebody else. So if you have anxiety about that, you know, talk to your anesthesiologist. They can really help you by giving you drugs that will make you forget, make you happy, get rid of the pain. But you have to speak up. And I know I said it before, but you have to be your own advocate. You have to speak up. You may notice I'm wearing sunglasses. Yeah, you get light sensitivity with this. Especially when you go visit your doctor and he dilates you. But I mean, even after with this, everything is bright and the eye is sore. It's really red in there. The muscles where they injected you are sore, so every time your eyes track and move, it's going to ache, it's going to hurt. My eye feels best when I'm resting and it's closed, or just after the drops. So take it easy. Don't stress. Healing's going to take a few weeks, and then you'll know the final result of your vision. if you need corrective eyewear or a new prescription or things like that. So, you know, ask a lot of questions, be your own advocate, listen to your doctor's advice. Key. Recap, post-op day 2, feeling great, maybe a little tired and sore, but other than that, doing well, eating healthy, resting, might go out to lunch, not driving, hydrating well, listening to my doctor, keeping on schedule with the eye drops. That's what you need to know. Good luck if you have vitrectomy. Find the very best surgeon you can with the best qualifications that does many vitrectomies a year and a month. Someone who really has experience in this. A retinal specialist for sure. And good luck.